hole in the fence where there's a cattle guard there, and there's the cattle guard leads into Mexico.
Everything we had was completely legal, and everything we were doing was completely legal. We were over in the national forest, weren't bothering anybody.
All of a sudden, one of the guys, I think it was Ray or one of the photographers, said, "Hey guys, there's 3 guys over on that side hill with uniforms on." And when Ray and I looked, we knew immediately that they were Mexican military. When I looked at them, they were in a wedge formation, and suddenly the one in the front stopped and started throwing hand and arm signals to the one in the rear. Sure enough, next thing you know, he let a round go, and several rounds. That incident up in the Huachuca Mountains that day was by far the most violent experience I've ever undergone in my life.
Guys, they have guns.
They're shooting at us! They're shooting at us!
Now the U.S. Border Patrol is warning its agents to look out for Mexican military units. You heard me right. Mexican military units on American soil.
All the cars are lined up. You just jump that little fence and come into the United States. That happens 20 times a day.
This is the new fence, the so-called new fence that we're putting up, spending millions of dollars for it.
The Mexican people are already finding ways to circumvent those incidents.
With a pair of wire cutters.
The old fence, new fence. This is what your politicians are giving you. Look at that. Ray could climb up over that fence. Look at that. You can give him a step ladder.
This is a high spot, too. Yeah, this is a high spot.
Standing there with that horn and your stupid sign and all your business information.
Mona Island is located about 45 miles west of the mainland of Puerto Rico. It is part of Puerto Rico. Mona Island is a drop-off point now for the Cubans that are entering Puerto Rico under the wet foot, dry foot policy. And there's limited enforcement by CBP, DHS in Mona Island due to the distance that it is away from Puerto Rico. Theoretically, we're responsible for all the shoreline of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands.
So you say there's a tremendous increase of Cubans coming into Mona Island?
Yes, a tremendous increase of Cubans in the last 2 years.
What would you attribute that to?
The wet foot, dry foot policy. Once they're in, they're in. You can't get rid of them.
Because once they're in Puerto Rico, they're in the United States, correct?
Yes, they are. Once they reach Mona, which is part of Puerto Rico, they have made it into the mainland United. They've basically made it in the United States and are eligible for all the benefits under the Cuban Relief Act.
How much does a Cuban receive once he reaches here?
Well, the all told is unknown because once they get here, they start their asylee process. They receive $9,000, roughly $9,000 cash to help them get started. They're eligible for all medical. They get medical benefits. They get loans to start businesses, low interest loans to start businesses, and a variety of other things to help them get started in the United States. Of the 100% of the Cubans coming right now, 50% are leaving Cuba, going to the Dominican Republic on a tourist visa, and then within a week to 2 weeks, they're making their arrangements and are getting smuggled into Mona Island. And the other 50% are Cubans that have been living in the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and other countries in the Caribbean, and they find out about the Dominican Republic, and they come there, make their arrangements, and then come on to Puerto Rico in order to come into the United States.
Well, there is corruption along the southern border. There have been instances of integrity issues in the various ports of entry. A certain Arizona senator was involved with a family in Douglas and Agua Prieta, the Alvarez family, and the Alvarez family has ties to a cocaine distribution network.
People don't come from the Middle East paying $50,000 to come up and work at our local quickie mart.
We have Syrians, Afghans, we have others coming across. Why am I in Iraq defending their border?
Jose, the illegal alien, isn't just coming up here for work. He's coming up here to commit crimes against America.
Today, despite the threat of terrorism, our border control is broken. It will stay broken until we fix it.